black. It's like, holy, it's like what? It's like I was like literally at that point I was like getting my chest. I was like, what? I was like, hang on. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Because it was done really well because you had the amulet and it was done in the same square shape and like rotated, almost like a, oh my god, I'm gonna believe something like a swastika, like rotated in that shape, and it was just showing the front. And then you never realize that when you turn it over, the prints on it, and it's got the locust thing, and it's like, and then obviously she says like my mum said that it belonged to my grandma, and it's like hold the phone. And I was like, what? I was like, this is like completely so. I like because I never really enjoyed MGS5's ending first, and I never really enjoyed Gears 4's ending straight away. But when it started, I was like, hang on. I was like, hang on. I was like, I was like, wow. I was like, this is
that okay. Like, I didn't really pick up on, for whatever reason, I didn't notice that was Mira's thing when I first saw it. I didn't notice that, and so look, okay, with that in mind, that is pretty cool. I think that's kind of like a cool way to end it with giving that hint of, oh, holy shit, like. They're implying that maybe Reina was Mira's daughter, thus making Kate, the granddaughter of Mira.
Yeah.
Which I think that's cool. I felt like before we got to that moment, my argument is, I felt like before we got to that moment where it just cuts to black, I felt like we needed just maybe 2 more minutes just to slow down a bit. We just fought the Sarlacc. We just had this emotional moment, and then it just cuts to, like a revelation, and then bam. I felt like maybe just 2 more minutes, maybe having like a quick scene between, Marcus and Baird and Cole, just another day or something like that. Like just one more little resolution and then having that moment. I think it would have been a little bit more powerful. So to me, I kept making a joke online that it kind of felt like blue balls. It felt like you were in the middle of jerking off and you just stopped, which is why I shouldn't review.
Oh no, I
games.
went all the way, Chris. I went all the way. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck
no.
you. I went all the way.
For me, I don't know. That's how it felt for me.
I was Randy Marsh in that picture. I was like, I was there like, wow.
I needed cuddles, Adnan. I needed some cuddles, man. I don't know. That's just me. But dude, you know what? Like, it is cool. It's a cool way to end it, and it fucking raises the hype level. I can't wait for Gears 5. I'll put it that way.
See, this is my own kind of fiction as well. Like, I would have thought, like, when it kind of explains why the speaker didn't kill Reina.
Right.
And then also, I think, like, another good
that's
scene
true.
is...
Fuck, I didn't realize that, yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't kill her, he doesn't, like, really harm her. He just throws her against the thing and knocks her out, and then she's praying to the amulet.
Yeah.
And maybe he sees the amulet, and he's like, hang on. It's like, this one's my former queen. It's like, wait, what?
It's like that scene in Pirates where he's like, the gold called to us. Like,
That's what I mean. But I mean, like, I don't know where the story's going to go. I don't know if it's like, Kate's going to be like, they're going to try and like kidnap her so she becomes the new queen or something else. But like, it would be great had they had this some kind of scene like where she gets like, stopped by like, where she gets singled out by a locust and it's going to like chainsaw or something. It stops, like, like stops the chainsaw or something. It just looks at her.
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of gives like, like that early like hint of what the ending's going to be. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, because it realizes that she's the granddaughter of Mira.
Right.
And it's kind of like that thing where it's like the early kind of like, plot moment where it's like, oh wait, why didn't he kill it? Like, obviously what MGS5 had with like revealing the ending of that, they had like loads of moments in it. Maybe they could have done that, but I think like when they abruptly ended, I think they did it purposely. They might have picked straight up where it left off, like The Force Awakens, straight from that scene. Who knows? Who knows? Like, it could do the exact same. That's the other thing. Like, I don't know if they're going to pick straight up from where it left off. I think they just didn't want to dabble in it too much. I think they did it purposely to just abruptly end. It's kind of that thing where you just sit on it. Do you know like how, Bioshock Infinite ends as well? Mm-hmm. Where like, where the Elizabeth drowned him, it's like, oh. And then they start disappearing, fading away, and then it goes to that one scene where he's in the office, and you open the door, and it's like, it abruptly ends. I think they're kind of like going for that effect. Obviously, funnily enough, Rod Ferguson worked on Bioshock Infinite as well when he was at Irrational.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, he worked at Irrational Games briefly when he left Epic, and then he worked during, I think he did work on Infinite. But it was kind of, and I know he was there during that period, but I think they did just go for the abrupt feeling where it's like, and it's like, okay, and it's like they kind of want that impact that she's picked the lock up. But I think the other thing is that they didn't really, you can't obviously overdo it, but they didn't really say it to you. So if you don't realize first off, you're gonna be like, what? But
Yeah.
it's one of
Yeah,
those,
because that's yeah.
I kind of really digest. I mean, I told Chris as well a bit more context as well. Funnily enough, you can search up Reina in Spanish. It means queen,
Yeah, which
which is like
that's pretty
again
cool.
like a very very. I love when it goes down to the very fine details or something like that
Yeah.
of suggesting something. It's very 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 articulately done and it's very well conceived to do something like that. So I did like that kind of like reference of that. And for me, it really shifted the perspective as well because I was kind of like sitting there, I was like, wait a minute, she's an outsider and her mum's an outsider, but at the same time, she's the apparent heir to the Locust. And it's kind of like, and then, Marcus, the guy who fought the Locust his entire life, and his son's like, like a little bit emotionally connected to this girl, is going to be like, it opened so many, like, my dimensions of my eyes were opening in different ways. I know Cliff Blazinski loved the ending as well. I mean, like, I understand, like, what you said, maybe I had 2 more minutes, maybe 2 more minutes might have ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It could have done what The Force Awakens does, where it's like, it spirals out for 2 minutes in that one shot. which you really don't like. I remember when you like pointed that out to me like one of our previous podcasts. You're like, I fucking hate that shot.
Wait, say again. What are we talking?
No, I mean when you used to say to me you hate the ending shot of The Force Awakens where it's spiraling out.
Oh God, yes, I hate that.
And that's what I was saying. Like 2 more minutes, are gonna literally spiral out of control. That shot of like
of
the
her
ambulance,
just holding
like round Kate, like just fucking everything.
Iris out and shit.
I think it might have drawn it out a bit too much though, maybe 2 minutes. I mean, like, I'm thinking about this, but I think it might have just drawn it out a bit too much. I think they did want to cut to black. I think the same with Force Awakens, just cut to black. When he pulls off the horn and it lingers back on him for a second, it just goes straight to black. You don't need to imply any more context to it. It's kind of like it's there, something's happened, and it's like, ooh.
Well, they should have cut on the lightsaber, I always felt. 'Cause, like, that was just,
What, when it goes back to her, looking at her?
No, just they should have cut to a shot of her just the hand holding the lightsaber and then Iris in, like Iris out. That would have been so fucking cool. That last shot was just, I don't know, I felt like they didn't know what the fuck to do, and it felt so un-Star Wars.
It's like fucking strong camera. Helicopter.
It's clearly a helicopter shot, like, with Abrams yelling directions and shit.
I thought it would have been a little bit better would have been the fact that way it's like she hands the lightsaber out, it goes back to him for a second shot, and it ends on him. He's like looking at her, or no, it looks at her and then it goes back to her, like where she's like almost like tearing up a little bit, and it's like cuts to black.
God, that ending's so powerful.
We're in a fucking different entire subject. But in itself, I think the ending was very solid. It kind of redeemed a lot of problems in the stories, and maybe it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it sets itself up for another story, but it's Gears of War, it's a franchise, it's already established. It's obviously going to have another installment. It's not the Order 1886 where it's an undeserved sequel. I think we had this conversation where we didn't really agree how they established characters. I think they established them pretty well. Because it kind of reminds me of like the new cast of MKX when they were establishing Cassie Cage and the new kids on the block. It was kind of that thing where it is hard. And I think we had this discussion last night where it's kind of hard thingy. But I always feel like when you have the start of a franchise and stuff, you can really establish characters really well. Like, and I'm saying that in a very like almost a demeaning, like patronizing way. But it is that thing where you have like a new surface to build on stuff. And you can build something, but if you have a Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid, it's hard to replace a Solid Snake in like a fifth game with a new character and kind of have a new set of characters, establish them in one game, and then have Solid Snake in the background. People don't like it because it's like the same with MGS2. Solid Snake went supporting character. People are like, what? It's like, get him back. It's like, I don't want him to be supporting character. Even when he's in other games, people are like, get him off being supporting character, get him in the main character role. It's that kind of thing that the same with people with Marcus Fuse, like, oh yeah, I want Delta Squad to come back. But I'm like, they are the equivalent of Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher. They play in that role where they are now supporting. They're not the main characters, and you kind of have to really, sit down on what these characters are. I don't think they completely establish it. I do think it has that thing where some characters don't really, out of the three, some of them don't really have great story arc.
Yeah.
Sorry, my fucking red raw now, but it's that thing. I don't think they establish them too well, but I think that they do things where they dab on certain things. And I've always said that it's hard. It's kind of hard because it's almost like you're going away from criticism, but you can't really judge The Force Awakens without its next installment because like it's almost setting itself up to be like a 2-part package without splitting the film into 2 parts. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's what Gears of War 4 is like. It's in its essence a one game, but it's not split into 2 games just for the sake of like driving cash or whatever else. It's like done that because it's setting itself up to have a very big and grander story to be told. And I think that's the thing. Like I think like because Gears 2 sequel wasn't as strong as the first game, but the first game of this new era, as I call it, isn't as strong, but maybe the second game will be bigger because they have like more set pieces to focus on. They've established so much. It's like now they can go into Anya and say how she died or how she didn't die, how Baird started building DB Industries or how he started doing this. what's Cole doing, what's Hoffman doing, what's Marcus doing? Is Marcus going to be any part of the story? What's going to happen between Kate and JD? Can you see like all the like the weaves of like the spider web are starting to dangle? You can kind of like interlace them and start like knotting them. It's one of those like that's kind of like how I feel when I took the end of the campaign away.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think those are good points. Yeah, I mean, dude, they could take the series anywhere they want now, and I think the campaign to kind of I sense like we're kind of like wrapping it up, but to kind of like oh, and by the way, the post credit scene was awesome.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
I mean we talked about our podcast. That was brilliant. When
Yeah.
Oscar like cuts himself out of that pouncer, he's like, it's like where the hell is everyone? He's
Yeah.
like almost he's almost like he's still drunk.
Dude, I didn't know. I didn't know. By the way, Jimmy Smits did his voice. I didn't know that. That's the guy who
Yeah,
played. He was Bail Organa in the original in Star Wars the prequel trilogy.
yeah.
Leia's adopted dad. I didn't know that was him. I'm like, oh shit. it's
Yeah, I
Jimmy
didn't
Smits.
realize until I looked at afterwards as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I only knew like Lee McIntyre was JD, John DiMaggio was Marcus, and Laura Bailey was Kate.
Right.
So I was kind of like I didn't realize that until after, as you said, like I looked afterwards. I was like, oh, like, that's quite cool. Cool cast. I didn't really like that moment as well because Oscar's like it was like in essence as well. Oscar was almost like the new Carmine. Well, they almost killed him off. It was like no, he's not dead. It's like he's not dead. It's like we only did it just like kind of like get that reaction from you.
Yeah. But dude, to kind of give my final thoughts, I guess, on Gears of War 4. I was like, what game were we talking about again? Dude, overall, I loved it. I was very pleased with it. I don't think it's my game of the year at all. I think my game of the year is still Uncharted 4, to be honest. But I did like. I loved actually Gears of War 4 a lot. I thought it was very on point. It was what I wanted in this new game. If I had to rank this, god damn, this is tough. If I had to rank this amongst the other Gears game, I think it would go like this. I think my favorite Gears is Gears 3. I really enjoyed Gears 3. I liked the variety it had in it. I love the submarine part. I love the emotional context of it. It just hit a lot of beats for me. I think my second favorite is a tie between Gears 1 and Gears 4. I don't know which one. One of those is number 2 and number 3. I don't know which is which. And then after that would come Gears 2. I hate Gears 2. I think Gears 2 is like a really, with the exception of that one scene with Maria and Dom, I think Gears 2 feels like a really bad Michael Bay movie. It's too over the top for me and not enough groundedness. And then of course Judgment is all the way at the end. I think Judgment is terrible. So
Yeah,
I would rank it. Yeah, I would rank it like that. I think that's for me personally, that's my ranking. I need to play Gears 4 more. It's so fresh. I mean, I just beat it yesterday and it came out last week. So I think I need to just like play it more and absorb it into everything. But I think that's how it is right now. I don't know if I like it better than the original, but I definitely prefer Gears 3 over this one. From a campaign point of view, by the way, multiplayer wise, I really like this multiplayer a lot better. But
yeah.
it needs time to kind of like
Yeah,
go
I don't think I
into
can really rank them. Yeah, it'll take me years to rank them. But I always feel like I've always held that Gears One has always been the best for me.
Gears
in
1
the
is
story.
really good. Yeah,
Especially in the story. I always feel like they've never really ever captured that essence of that story that they did. Like that was
Yeah.
as true the darkest they went, and they always tried to go back to it. And they couldn't really recapture the formula. But I always have one at the first. I feel like three just trapped me from a lot of problems. I had that. I really like 2 as well a little bit. It was a bit too much cheesy and like action oriented and stuff like that. But I didn't mind that in Judgment. I'm not going to talk about Judgment. Isn't canon. It's the Snake Revenge of Gears of War. No, but the story overall, I think the length of the campaign was solid. It was like, I think maybe it could have another 2 hours if they want to explain other stuff, but I think they have got like a bigger vision in plan for a 5th game.
yeah.
Maybe Marcus has a twin.
A twin sister, twin
There's a
brother.
horn in his head.
This isn't the real Marcus.
Overall enjoyed it though. I want to see
Yeah.
a lot more of Kate as well. I really like that character. Laura Bailey is like,
she nailed it, man. She is the Nolan North, I think, of female voices. Like, If Nolan represents all the male voice actors like that, he gets so many roles. I think Laura Bailey is easily the girl side of things. Like she's she's up there, man. She's one of the best voice actors.
We'll probably bring this up in another podcast, but I mean, like, even at the end of the year awards and stuff, I think Gears of War 4 will take some big ones. It should thoroughly deserve to take some big ones, along with Uncharted.
I hope so, yeah.
But I mean, like, in the voice acting department as well, we'll probably discuss it. But I mean, like, I'd say Laura Bailey is very much my favourite for female category on this game alone. And then the woman who plays Elena.
Oh, God, Elena really knocked it out of the ballpark. Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it would be better than Bailey in this one. I think Kate was, like, fantastic. For a new character to be in a very, very well-established franchise to come out, I felt like it was nailed. But it's like, I couldn't even really give Nolan North for Nathan Drake over John DiMaggio as Marcus Phoenix. It's like one of those things. I'm like, Marcus Phoenix is like... And they're both characters, like, that's the end of Nathan Drake's story. And, like, Marcus is very much supporting in this game. And it's just like John DiMaggio knocks it out of the ballpark. I think he's like one of the best things about this bloody game. I think Marcus Phoenix's voice acting is like unreal.
He is, but I almost feel like it's incomparable. Like, because I feel like Nathan Drake is more of a subtle performance at times, whereas Marcus he's more of a character, if that makes sense. Like, he's very larger than life at times. And I think John does a great job doing that. I mean, I liked him in this game. I thought he was more than fine.
Saying that, Nathan Drake's performance is just a Nathan Drake performance. And this one's a really different kind of performance with Marcus.
That's true. There's definitely Nathan felt more like Nathan.
Yeah, but this was like Marcus, like the evolution of Marcus. It's all about Marcus, as I call him.
Yeah.
Damn it, Dom.
Damn. Yeah, there's no Dom this time. That was a missing part.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah, dude. I guess we'll kind of close up. Shit, we've been talking for an hour. I didn't even realize.
Well, there you go. I told you it was a long episode. But yeah, thank you for joining us on this massive Spoilercast. This is what happens when it's Gears of War. It's fucking they'll have me talking for ages. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. You can find the review that we did for Gears of War 4 on our YouTube channel as well. Follow us on social media. We're on Twitter and Facebook on Podcast Go. You'll be able to find us quite easily. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next week with an actual podcast episode next week, maybe.
Yeah.
We're kind of scattering like things. We don't really do the podcast every week. It's just one of those where we can kind of alternate between things. And this week we decided to do 2 things on Gears of War 4 because it's a massive big release, and me and Chris usually buy games like 4 or 5 of the big games in the same release. So
yeah, it felt appropriate. Yeah, have a little bit of a blowout. Podcast Go blowout.
Exactly, that's the one. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.